Let me say something that might make you feel seen. Some of you are making more money than you ever have, and somehow you still feel tight. Like them pants in the back of your closet that we need to get rid of. You're not out here buying luxury bags. You're not booking wild trips every month. You're not being reckless. You're buying groceries, household stuff, buying stuff for yourself or your kids if you got them. Things for the house, little conveniences, things that make life easier. And still, like poof, your money just disappears. Not dramatically, not irresponsibly, just quietly. And in this economy, those quiet leaks hit harder because layoffs are happening. Companies are restructuring. People with good jobs are suddenly unsure. And even if you're stable, you're watching it happen around you. And when things feel uncertain, you start wanting more margin, more breathing room, more peace. But that's real hard to create, especially when the money is leaking in small ways. So today we're talking about 9 tiny habits secretly wrecking your finances and what grown women actually do instead. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Nina, a licensed psychologist, professor, wife, and mama who had to completely shift the way that I thought about money because discipline wasn't my issue, awareness was. And in this economy, awareness matters more than ever. But before we go any further, hit like and leave me a 6-word comment if you can. You know, so YouTube knows this is grown folk financial business. I got a few for you to try. Calm money and grown decisions only. Or here's another one. I'm tightening the small leaks. Or whatever you would like. And also let me know any videos you want to see from me in the future. Now let's talk about this first one.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
Point 1, you're not overspending, your margin shrunk. This is the part we don't be saying out loud. You didn't suddenly just become bad with money. Well, at least some of us. Life just got more expensive. Groceries went up, household items went up, convenience went up, service went up. Baby, everything quietly went up. Sometimes loudly, but I digress. But your habits, those stayed the same. So the same behaviors cost more money. You didn't change, but the math did. The math ain't mathing. And that's why some of y'all stay feeling confused. Because you're thinking, I'm not shopping like that. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just living. Exactly, but living costs way more now. So my real example here. You run into the store for dinner. You grab one extra snack, a drink, dessert, backup item, a just in case thing. You didn't shop, you just added. Now you're $28 to $35 more over. And they used to be $12. That right there is the shrinking margin. Here's another example. You stop for something quick. You add drink, side upgrade. You're taxing your tip because you know they always tipping the heck out of you. They want you to tip. And I do. Now you're at $22. You didn't feel reckless, but that same behavior, multiple times a week, that adds up fast. So let me say this tough love style, auntie, sister, cousin style. You don't need to cut everything, but you do need to adjust. Because if you keep spending like prices didn't change, your money will keep disappearing. And quiet leaks are the hardest to notice. So here's my grown woman fix. Pick 2 categories to tighten slightly. Not eliminate, not restrict, just tighten. Examples, convenience food, extras at the store, random online purchases, Sally, impulse add-ons. That's it, not everything. Just enough to restore margin. Because grown women don't panic, we adjust. Point 2, caregiver spending, the one nobody talks about. This one hits especially hard because a lot of times you're not overspending on yourself. You're spending on everyone else. You're grabbing snacks for the house, things for the kids, things for your family, extra drinks, comfort food, backup items, and something just in case. And baby, it usually doesn't feel like spending, especially for us caregivers. Because caring is sharing, right? You're not being reckless, you're being thoughtful. You're being prepared, you're being supportive. But it still costs money and it still adds up quietly. So a real example, you go in for one thing. You leave with the extra snacks, something someone else might want, drinks for the house, backup items, and a little comfort food. Now you're looking at $40 over. Not because you were shopping, but because you were thinking about taking care of people. It's not just people with kids. It can apply to your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your mama and your daddy, everybody else, okay? Another example is you're ordering food. You add an extra side, a dessert, something for later, and something someone else might want. Now the total just doubled. That's caregiver spending. Now here's my tough love from your auntie, sister, cousin. You don't need to stop caring, but you do need some boundaries. Because when you care with no limits, you quietly absorb the cost. And nobody usually sees it because it doesn't usually look like luxury spending. It looks responsible. It looks supportive. It looks like something you're supposed to do. It looks thoughtful, but it's still leaving your account. So here's a grown woman fix. Create a caregiver buffer. That's what I call it. This changes everything. So you decide, this is what I spend on extras. Example, 75, 100, 125, 150. Now you can still care. You can still add a few extras. You can still support people, but inside this boundary. You set that number and you don't go a penny over. Okay? Tell them I said it. No guilt, no overspending, no quiet leaks. Because grown women, we still care. Okay? We care. We just stop carrying everything financially alone. Okay? Especially when the other people have the choice to get the extras and don't get it for you. I'm not saying you do as others do. You do what you do, but you set a limit. Something else I started doing is a treat for me is a treat for me. If I go somewhere and I decide to have a coffee or a little muffin or whatever it is out and about, it's for me. I ain't got to bring home some for the whole house. Okay? Tell them Nina said it. Point 3, convenience became survival spending. This one is real, and I want to say this carefully. You're not being lazy, you're tired, I understand. You're working, managing a household, even if you're single, taking care of people, trying to stay sane in this world, trying to stay afloat. So convenience becomes a survival. You don't order food because you're reckless. You order it because you're exhausted. You don't grab something quick because you don't care. You grab it because you don't have the mental energy. You're paying for time, energy relief, less thinking, and less stress. And in certain seasons, that makes sense. But here's the problem. Convenience is expensive. And when convenience becomes default instead of just occasional, your money starts leaking. Starts looking real little. So here's a real example. You plan to cook, but you so dang on tired, Tanya. So you pick up that phone and you order. Then the next day you still tired, so the same thing. Then the next day again. Now you spend $25, $32, $28. And I ain't talking about your measurements. That's almost $90 on 3 meals or more than that 90. Not reckless, just tired. So another one is you run into the store. Instead of grabbing ingredients, you grab pre-made because it's easier. Now dinner costs $18 instead of $7. Again, not reckless, just convenience. So my tough love here. You don't need to remove all convenience, but you do need to control it. Because if convenience becomes your default, your money will quietly disappear. And in this economy, that hurts a lot more. So my grown woman fix. Create what I call low effort defaults. So when you're tired, you don't automatically spend. Examples. 3 lazy meals always stocked. Freezer backup meals. I've started to make soups and freeze them. Even in the summer, I don't care what nobody say. Okay? Anything can go over some noodles. My low carb ones. Rotisserie chicken nights. This is a big one at my house. Costco got them all day for $6. Kroger too. Simple repeat dinners. Snack drawer stays stocked. Grab and go breakfast options if you're a breakfast eater. You're not removing convenience. You're removing the cost of the convenience. That's the shift. Because grown women, we don't rely on willpower. We build easier systems. And honestly, this is where I had to get real with myself. Because none of this really works unless you can actually see what your money is doing. And that's why this portion of this video is sponsored by Rocket Money. And this is one of the tools that help me slow down and actually understand a few things, like where my money was going. Because when everything feels expensive and you're just trying to get through the week, it's really easy to lose track of the small stuff. What I liked in the first place with Rocket Money is being able to see all my accounts in one place. Checking, savings, everything. Just one clear view. No bouncing between apps, no guessing, no mental math. That alone helps you to become more aware. But what really got my attention was subscriptions. Things I sit up and sign up for in busy seasons. Free trials I forgot about. Apps I once used a few times or never. Rocket Money pulls those into one list, and you can cancel what you don't need right inside the app. And that's with just a few taps. No emails, no digging around. I don't have time. And I also appreciated the spending insights because that helps me to notice patterns, like how convenient spending showed up more when I was tired or when I hadn't planned ahead. That awareness alone helps me to make calmer decisions, all without guilt. And as a psychologist, I'll say this plainly. Clarity reduces financial anxiety. And look, Rocket Money is free to download. And you can try it using my link at rocketmoney.com/drnina. If you're trying to create more breathing room, more awareness, and also more calm around your money, this is an amazingly helpful tool. Now let's keep going because this next habit is one that a lot of us don't even realize we're doing. Point 4, small changes add up faster now. This one didn't used to hurt like this because before $7 didn't matter, $9 didn't matter, $12 didn't matter. Now, it just does. And the tricky part is you're not making one big decision. You're making tiny ones. Coffee, snacks, add-ons, upgrades, delivery fees. Have y'all seen delivery fees inside of these apps? Y'all done lost y'all doggone mind. Extra items, just this one thing. None of them feel like spending, but they stack. So you know I got you with the example. You don't go shopping, but in one day you grab a drink, add a snack, upgrade something. Quick stop for something small. That's $6, $9, $8, $12. Now you're at $35 extra that you didn't even notice. And what's funny is we open up the bank app and look like, what happened? How did this happen? And then you get to add and you look silly. You know how it feels. Oh. Another example, you're ordering something. Then you add something small. Oh, upgrade the shipping because we want it quicker. And add just one more thing. Now your $18 order became $42 quick. Not reckless, just small decisions. Now, tough love from you, girl. You don't need to stop all small spending, but you do need some awareness because small spending used to be harmless. Now it's just not. And when you don't notice it, it quietly drains your margin. So my grown woman fix. Create a pause rule for small spending. Before anything non-essential, I want you to ask, do I actually want this or do I just want something? That one question cuts impulse spending immediately. Another fix, set a daily small spending cap. Example, $10, $15, $20. Once you hit it, you're done. Not restriction, just awareness. Because grown women, we don't eliminate joy. We just stop the accidental spending. Point 5, subscription creep. Busy season spending. This one is very grown woman life. You signed up because you were busy, overwhelmed, trying to get organized, trying to make life easier. Oh, and trying to solve a problem. So you downloaded an app, a membership, a trial, a subscription, a service. Then life moved on. But the charge, baby, it stayed. And sometimes it gets more expensive. And because they're small, they kind of hide. So an example, you signed up for something for meal planning, fitness, productivity, streaming, kids organization. It's $6.99, $9.99, $12.99. No big deal, right? But now you got 5 of them. Now you're paying $45 to $60 every single month. And that's for stuff you barely even use or even know what it's called. Another one is you signed up for a free trial. You forget, now you're paying for something you didn't even plan on keeping. And you don't even notice. Now here's your tough love. You don't need to eliminate everything. But if you wouldn't sign up for it today, you probably never or do not need it. Because a lot of subscriptions are solutions to old problems. And now you're still paying for them. You living in the past. So here's my grown woman fix. Do that quarterly subscription reset. I want you to ask the hard questions. Did I use that this month? Would I sign up again today? Do I actually need this? If not, cancel that. You can always add it back one day if you need to. Even canceling 2 or 3, that restores margin immediately. Because grown women, we don't let old decisions keep charging us. Point 6, burnout spending. I deserve it spending. This one is quiet but powerful because you're not spending out of recklessness. A lot of us are spending out of exhaustion. You worked all week, you handled everything. You took care of people, you managed your home. You showed up anyway. So you say, I deserve this. I just need something. I need a little pick-me-up. Let me treat myself. And listen, you do deserve things. But when every hard day ends with spending, money starts leaking. So here's some real examples. Hard day at work, takeout. Stressful week, online shopping, run it up. Long day, little treat, rough season. Just this one little thing. Each one makes sense, but together it adds up. Another one though, you're tired. You don't want to cook, you don't want to think. Heck, you don't want to plan or breathe. So you spend to create that relief. That's burnout spending. So my tough love is spending is not actually giving you relief. It's giving you temporary distraction, especially in a crazy, chaotic world. Then the money is gone and the stress comes back tenfold. So now you're tired and tighter. That's the cycle. So here's my grown woman fix though. Create your non-spending rewards. Things that give relief without costing you money. Examples are like a long shower, quiet time alone, walking without your phone, using an old gadget that you haven't used in a while, favorite show, early bedtime, journaling, sitting in silence, and a little music reset. You're not removing the reward, you're changing up how you get relief. Because grown women don't spend every time we're tired. We protect our energy and our money. Point 7, lifestyle inflation without feeling rich. This one hits professionals hard and working people the same. You're making more money, but you don't feel better because your lifestyle quietly upgraded. Better groceries, more convenience, more services, more add-ons, and more why not spending. You didn't decide this, it just happened. So a real example is you used to cook more, plan more, wait more. Now you grab more, you upgrade more, you outsource more. Each decision makes sense, but collectively your spending increased. Another example is you upgraded grocery subscriptions, comfort spending, convenience, but your income increase didn't create margin. So now you're making more, but you're still tight. That's the example of lifestyle inflation. So my tough love, more income doesn't automatically create breathing room. If spending rises with income, nothing changes. You're just living at a higher cost. And in this economy, that can be risky. So my grown woman fix is to choose intentional upgrades. Choose 3 things to upgrade. An example, better groceries, cleaning help, and 1 convenience category. Things that move time around that help you save time and maybe use it for other things. Keep everything else right where it is and moderate. Now you feel better without spending more everywhere. Because grown women, we don't upgrade everything. We upgrade what actually improves our lives. And that may not be the same thing from one person to another. I will say save my money and have a good cleaning on my home once a month so that I don't have to worry so much in between. Those are the types of things that maybe other people won't do, but they maybe will spend it on a subscription or something that makes their life easier with food or ordering. Those might be the things we find more important in our own households. So you have to decide what that is for you. Point 8, future me will handle it. This one sounds harmless, but it's expensive. I'll get serious next month. I'll tighten things up later. I'll start saving when things calm down. I'll fix it after this season. But there's always a season. Busy season, holiday season, stressful season, transition and unexpected expenses season. Baby, they keep rolling in. And suddenly months pass and nothing changed. So a real example, you overspend this week and you tell yourself, I'll make up for it next week. Next week comes, life happens again, and now you're playing catch up. Another one, you don't cancel something now because it's small. You say, I'll deal with it later. Later becomes another charge, another month, another leak. So my tough love to you. Future you is not more disciplined. Future you is still tired, still busy, still just managing life. If you don't change it now, it usually doesn't change. And that's how small leaks become long-term habits. So my grown woman fix, do one small adjustment immediately. Not everything just once. So some examples, cancel one subscription, skip one convenience purchase, reduce one category, move $25 more to saving, and cook one extra meal. That's it. Because small actions now break the later cycle. And grown women, we don't wait on perfect timing. We start exactly where we are. Point 9, avoiding your numbers because it feels heavy. Ooh, this one is the biggest, literally. You don't look at your money because it feels stressful. You don't check because you're worried about what you'll see. You don't track because it feels overwhelming. So you just keep going. And honestly, that's human. Because when the economy feels uncertain, looking at your numbers can feel scary. But not looking actually creates more anxiety. When you don't know, you're even more anxious about it. Because now you don't know where you stand. You don't know what's leaking and you don't know what's fixable. So everything feels tight without clarity. So a real example is you check your account and you think, where did my money go? But you never actually saw it leaving. So it feels confusing, not irresponsible, just unclear. So my tough love to you. Avoidance doesn't protect your peace. Not knowing ain't gonna help you, sis. It increases anxiety and it also allows others to get over on you. Catch my drift? Because uncertainty often feels worse than reality, even when reality isn't perfect. What I mean is if you know you're broke, you at least know you're broke. Okay? If you don't know you're broke, you keep overspending and you get overdraft fees. Not cool. So my grown woman fix. Weekly 5-minute money check. That's all you need. Look at account balance, subscriptions, recent spending, what your spending trends are. No spreadsheet, no budgeting, no pressure. Because awareness changes behavior naturally. And grown women, we don't avoid our money because other people will pay attention. We face it calmly so we make better decisions. You don't have to be perfect with money. You don't have to cut everything. You don't have to stop living or start feeling guilty. But in this economy, small leaks matter more. And the truth is, most of them aren't reckless. They're just habits. Caring habits, convenience habits, tired habits, and busy ones too. But once you see them, you can adjust them. Not dramatically, just intentionally. Because grown decisions create calm finances. And calm finances, they create peace. And we feel and look better when we have peace. All right, y'all, make sure that you comment. Share this video with someone who can use it and subscribe. I really do appreciate y'all. All right, y'all, Dr. Nina signing out. Peace.